everyone, I'm Samantha Kerr, and today I will be discussing a Caldecott Medal winner and an absolute classic, Maurice Sendak's Where the Wild Things Are. This book is excellent to use in an early elementary classroom, and today I will be using it to discuss and address first grade standards. So before we read, let's look at the cover of this book. What is this wild thing doing? Is he sleeping? I know I sleep in my bed in my own home. Maybe this is the wild thing's home. Maybe this is where he or she lives. Does it look like a familiar place to you? I mean, there's some water and some trees. Maybe it's the beach or something. But it looks a little different. Look at these trees. They're red and blue. Maybe this is a make-believe place or an imaginary place. Guess we'll have to read to find out. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. How do you think Max feels when he's sent to his room? Has anybody here ever been sent to their room for doing something they weren't supposed to do? And how did that make you feel? Were you angry? Sad? Maybe a little ashamed? Maybe you didn't admit it at the time, but you knew what you did was wrong. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. Do you think a forest really grew in Max's room? Is it real or imaginary? And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Do the wild things live far away from Max? How do we know that? And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them all with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking. And they were frightened, and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Dancing, maybe singing too. Hanging from the trees. Wild things. And Max is the king of all the wild things. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. What did Max learn on his adventure? Was he lonely even with all of his Wild Thing friends? We know he was lonely, right? Because it tells us. Right here it says, "And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all." Why is it important to be where someone loves you best of all? Have you ever missed home even though you were surrounded by friends and loved ones? This book is one of my favorite books to use in an early elementary classroom. First of all, because I've always loved this book ever since I was a child, and when a teacher loves a book and has passion for it, it shows off and oftentimes rubs off on the students. Using this book in the classroom enables students to connect what they read to their own lives and use their imaginations like Max does. Where the Wild Things Are lends itself to several fun activities that can be used to address standards in the classroom. I will discuss some of these activities next.